And we're live. Hello, everybody. Happy New Labor Day. Although I don't actually celebrate that because I haven't had a job in so long, but I do celebrate everyone that has jobs that do still work, and because of course that's important to our economy that everybody is doing something important to do still work, and because of course that's important to our economy that everybody is doing something important to
Okay, where is
do
that
still
coming
work,
from?
and because of course that's important to our economy that everybody is doing
Hello, we've got an
something important
echo.
to do still work, and because of course that's okay. Did I get rid of it? I think so. Sorry about that. Anyway, that was fun. Anyway, I just what I was saying is I honor all of those that still have jobs. I haven't had a job, and I think it's been 12 years since I had a real job other than working from home and working in the internet space. Hello, everybody that's coming on now. Please let me know if you can see and hear me perfectly. That's really important to me before I get started. And the first thing I usually like to do is actually, I like to do a good tour of the back office of Got Backup, explain everything to you, show you where everything is, and then from there, we will take questions. So, everybody, let me know. You can hear and see the picture. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a share screen. And I like to actually take myself out of there. It just gives you a bigger view screen. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the Got Backup. This is on our welcome screen. And the very first thing I want you to notice is that there's a great big video here in the front. Now, I don't know if they're going to put mine in here, that we're still working on it. I think they're actually planning to replace a good part of the videos. We are also going to have videos on pretty much all the pages of Got Backup to explain things wherever there are not obvious things that you understand. I want you to notice something though. We've got three tabs down here, three buttons. These actually correspond with buttons up here on the left hand side, okay? So I'm going to show you those and then show you where they are. For instance, the dashboard, which if I open it, is actually where you get started to get a hold of your download links. I want you to notice while we're at it that there are two different possible things. I don't have Linux. I think that's mainly if you have a server. But there are, of course, two major systems that everybody either has one or the other, or may even have both. If you're a Mac system on your computer, then you want to download the Mac OS version of Got Backup. Now, that's also where you're going to find the installation videos for your Mac system. But this is also where you're going to find anything relating to the iPhone. I happen to be one of those crossovers. My computers are Windows, but my phone is an iPhone, and I have an iWatch now. So I have a lot of actual Macintosh stuff as well, or Apple, or whatever you want to call it. I was a Google user for a long, long time. I have had, the Android for a long time. I just crossed over and I like the iPhone better. Now, you might be one of those that are just Windows and Android. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just want to point out to you where you're going to find your installation videos. If you use an Android, you're going to find your videos to get it started correctly. And please do watch those videos. They're all going to be right here where this orange button is, okay? If you're like me and you want to find out how to set up your iPhone, which I did do, actually watch these videos because they are excellent and they really helped me. And there were a few little things I needed to do correctly in order to get a good setup. And this is also how you get to your cloud right here. The corresponding link that is just like this one is use this tool, okay? So the dashboard and use this tool, when you open that up, you get to the same place. So this is really easy. You don't have to use those buttons, but that's just kind of like a shortcut to the same thing. Another thing to pay attention to, people ask all the time, this is where you actually create your additional accounts. These accounts are not set to just have one T on them. They are set to have whatever amount of space you are not using and they need. Now, if you have someone that is a big user, as you can see I am, if I showed you mine, you would probably go crazy. I could actually open it up and show you because it'd be a good idea for you to see it in just the fact that, sorry about that, we've got just the fact that we have, this is a broadcast, but I'll get us over to my backup. And if I click my use the tool, you'll see that I actually have quite a bit more space. I bought extra. I bought 2T extra on purpose because you'll see when this opens and finishes its load up that I actually have used about 1/3 or a little bit past 1/3 of my space. But anyway, I'm going to come back into our got back up here. And then the next link right here is called the Promotional Tools, which also corresponds with the reseller tools. I'm not real sure why they've changed the name for the buttons so that it makes sense though, but let me go ahead and show you that folder next, and let's go through that in detail. First off, the very first thing is your links. The very best link to actually share with people is this one if they have not yet become a pre-enrollee. And this is for if they have or they just want to be a customer. You do have some other links along here. This one, for instance, is used to invite your prospects to our live webinars, and you have your own link right here, which of course will have your own ID on the end of it, which is your username. And this one, I don't know what it's for exactly, but I think it's just a different possible tour, build my downline. I think this is actually if you want to look at the possibility of using it differently. And then this is just one of the replays from the past, okay? And on every one of these is a copy your promotional link, create a tracking link, and view your statistics. Now, let's just do that with this one right here. Let's look at the statistics because this one gets a lot of actual clicking on it. And this one, of course, is going to show, needs to have the whole thing because right now we're in a new month, right? Okay, so this is showing that even this link, even though this is actually not a real account, it is a demo account, it is actually getting visits. And I did actually put myself in here as a lead, and I did that on purpose recently so that I could do emails and show you how to do it. And I'm not going to go through that in detail, but I have already done the training for our lead capture system, and I will actually go through that in a little bit more detail in a few minutes. On the next tab here, we've got banners. And these banners are really cool. Now you have two ways that you can work with these, and this is what I have done, and it really is good. You have some actual copy right here. But what's really cool, I don't know if you know you can do this, but you can actually click on this, then do a save as, a write and save as. Now this is especially a good thing if this is a GIF, okay? So let me actually find one that has a GIF going on with it. Okay, here's one that's actually a GIF. It has things that are happening on it. there's movement on this. So I can actually save this. And if I save it, it stays in that format and allows me to use it that way anywhere I want. And you can actually save it however you want. Now, of course, it's not actually going to have your link on it, but I'm going to real quickly show you something I did with my own blog. This is my blog, and I am using the Got Backup banners inside of my blog. Let me just go to one of these posts and show you what I did with it. This is a banner, and it is one that has all of the action going on in it. But what I did in here is I put it in here with just my link attached. I didn't use that code. I just loaded this up as an image, and then I made sure I selected it and turned it into a clickable GIF format. So if I click this, guess what it does? It goes right in to my own page. And that makes it really cool, doesn't it? So that's something that you can do inside. Make sure I'm in the right place. Inside of this. So let me get back to, here we are. So you can do this with any of these, but I like the ones, like this is the one I have on my blog. And you can pick any one of them, and if you click it, it saves it to the right size right away. It doesn't lower it to a different size. And I really like the GIFs because they get your attention, right? And that's kind of fun. There's some that are stagnant and they don't make any pretty stuff going on, and there's some that are actually got some action happening on it. Here's another one that's doing that. So you have the choice to do it either way, okay? Now, our next tab is our advertising ad copy. Now, what these are basically are, they can be emails and they can be various different things. And I'm going to create an actual email real quick just to show you how to do it in a few minutes after I finish showing you the rest of this, okay? So the next one over is the pre-enrollee ad copy. And what this is great for is that you can actually click this email now button. It will automatically be set up to go to just your pre-enrollees. So let's just click that so we see what happens. See, it just took the pre-enrollees and moved them over. It already has an email offer, a subject line, and it's already set up for you to send to your email autoresponder people that are in the enrollee status. Now, this is especially a good thing to do, say like on Wednesday, right before cutoff, to let them know. But make sure you've filled out all the information. There's some things in here that are not here. For instance, your phone is not here. If you have a Skype or a Telegram, those are things you need to fill in yourself. And guess what? Another thing that would be a really good idea is to have your own picture in here. For instance, I'm going to go ahead and just move those down a little bit, and I'm going to put my own picture in here just to show you how easy and quick that is to create your own email and do a little bit of personalization. So I'm going to go up here to my, see, it's in pictures under webinars because I've put it in here so that it's easy to find. Okay, so here's the picture I have. Make sure it's not too large. You can lower it to about 200 pixels, which is really good. And then just tab over and it automatically changes the other tab there. Now I have a picture in here, and I did that so that it would be fit in this space. And then of course I'm going to put a fake phone number in here, but this is what you would want to do. And then if you have a Skype, make sure they have the Skype. If you have a Telegram, make sure they have the Telegram. Now, in my case, I don't use Telegram, so I'm taking that out. And that would be all you have to do. Then to make it complete, you click the add button down here. Now you might notice that there's a big bullseye up here that's showing you that you need to go ahead and send it. So we're going to go ahead and click that, and that puts it in the queue. Now I don't have anybody in the pre-enrollees. I just have myself as one of the leads. And that's because, of course, I am just putting myself in there as an individual that's interested in looking at it, just so that I can show them a real person looked at it. But of course, again, remember, I'm showing you this from an actual demo account. Okay, so the last thing, I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so the last thing we did was we went to the reseller tools. I think we're almost done. The last thing in here is actually the social media banners. I advise that you are careful not to overdo these. Sometimes people just go crazy and just fill their whole profile up with that. Now, we have a wonderful company and I love it, but I'll tell you something, a little bit of curiosity goes a long way. And if you're just putting this up constantly, guess what you're doing? You're actually turning people off, not on. You want them to come and ask you, what is it that you want out of your life? And why do you think I'm promoting something about saving your personal memories? And then get them to start talking to you. Have you ever lost anything? Oh, look at this. This one is a different language. I don't know what language that is, but that's pretty cool. I think it's French. Because I remember they said that they were launching France real soon. So I think that's what it is. This is French. And they're going to be launching other languages, but now that's in there. Pretty cool. But let's go back for a minute to our ad copy. And let's actually copy and create an email, which is our next tab, lead capture. Okay. So as you can see, this is actually me. So there's not another, that this is not a real list. But you would see, I want you to get in the habit of sending something, even if you only have one subscriber. Because if you get in the habit now, you will find that you will start to have a lot more rapport with the people that you have in your team or are looking at your product. Yes, you can have the company send emails out and all of that, but just remember, the more you do yourself, the better, okay? So I'm going to actually create a new broadcast, and you do that by clicking the send. And you can see, of course, that there is no email yet, but we want to send it to both, okay? Now, there's nobody in the pre-enrolled. There's only people in, well, I think I'm a pre-enrolled, but I'm not a got back up reseller, of course, because I'm not a real prospect in this. I'm just showing you what it looks like. And there's one thing you can actually do here is you can actually do this and make this into your subject line, which you need to have or you can't send it. Okay. So one thing also is that you need to have a little bit more personality here than what this is. And one thing I do realize, I don't know about you, but if there's a lot of links, these automatically are going to show up in your spam. So really what you want to do instead of all of this is choose which ones of these with the link that you really want to use, okay? Instead of all of these different ones, choose just one of them, okay? Like I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to get rid of this. So now I have a much more concise message shorter, and I'm going to copy this real quick because I'm going to show you another cool trick. A lot of people don't know you can do this, but we have actually templates right here, and they're really cool. And immediately they make your email look a little bit more exciting than they would otherwise. So I'm going to actually add that email to this, but because this already has the subject's first name, I'm going to take this out. Now we have a completed project here, except for that we need to change this part because it's smaller than the rest. So the rest of it was 14, and that looks kind of big and difficult to read. So let's look at, first off, let's change the text. And a lot of the time that also cleans it up. That looks better. What do you think? So now I have a finished project. Make sure again this has your real name. I actually recommend you delete this. And again, let's put a picture in here so it looks like it's really coming from you. So all you have to do is have your cursor where you want it. Come up here to where it says insert your image. Upload that same one that I showed you earlier. Of course, you have to know where yours is. It may be in your picture folder in the normal picture folder. It may be in your download folder. But wherever it is, make sure you know. And then go ahead and put it in there. Again, I'm going to make this just 200. And tab, and that changes this over here. Now I have a finished email. Now we don't need this. And if you don't have a logo, just delete that, okay? Now you have a finished product, and it looks really good. Okay? If you have anything fancy that you want to put in there, you can, but I'm trying to keep this super simple, all right? So now this is actually ready to send. Sorry about that. I get phlegm build up. It doesn't mean I'm sick. It's just something I deal with. Okay, I want you to notice now this is ready to go, but remember, we have a need to put it in queue. But here's something else you can do. What if, now I just sent this other email and it's already gone. You don't want to put them too close together. So what if I wanted to send this tomorrow? Everything's ready to go except for that. And the way you change it is you just click right here and you can actually say, I want it to go out tomorrow about 5:15. And then you go ahead and do this edit again. And you click plus, and that goes in the queue, but it's not going to go out today because it's set to go out tomorrow. And I just absolutely love this system. You guys don't realize how much power there is in just this system alone. I used to have auto response. I used to have get response. I've used to have Aweber. I closed both of those down. I have not used anything else but our own email system for over 3 years. This is very, very powerful. And I do these daily except for on Sunday. So now the last thing, I finished showing you all of the lead capture system and all of the tools in that. The only thing I haven't shown you is where everything is as far as our personal stuff, like where is the compensation plan. I'm going to do that first. That's also on the front page as well. Remember, I showed you how to do that. But this has got 2 videos and PDFs in here. And the reason why is because there's two things to understand: your direct referrals and what happens from the company because of the binary. Those are two different things that happen. You don't have control over the binary because the binary is based on what happens with the company and the cycles that you create yourself. Those cycles, after a while, just kind of happen. In a lot of cases, you'll only have one leg you really have to build. Because if you see another leg kind of just going off by itself, then you don't have to mess with that one, do you? Because that's your upline putting things in there. That's what they call the spillover. But let me tell you, don't count on that, because the other leg, if you don't build it, you don't get paid, actually, because there needs to be action on both legs. And just remember that you're going to do your outside left and your outside right, okay? And then on the binary, you get paid once a month. And on the got backup regular referrals and the matching check, you get paid every Friday with a lag of 4 weeks. Okay? So it's pretty simple, I think. I have not been involved with such a simple program, actually, than what we have in our got backup ourselves. So the next thing here is the commissions. This is an overview page. Obviously, this is really nothing, because again, this is not a real account in the sense that no real money is coming through this system. There's no real people paying, so you're not going to see any money in here. But this is a good place for you to see how it all works. And then of course, if when new people start becoming your paid members, they're going to show up on this page. Now remember, this is whatever happens currently on this page. There's a 4 week lag before you actually get that money from that person. But there is another one that is really cool called the My Payout History. Again, this is just a demo account, but as you go along, you're going to see your actual payouts right here underneath this program. And mine is many pages long now, because I have been involved since early 2020. And now we're almost at the end of 2023. Can you believe that? So it's really cool to see all of the people that are involved. And then, of course, you've got the commissions payout options. That's where you start your own account, a free account with either Payoneer or Wise. If you do not have either of those accounts, it does not cost you anything to do it, but you do need to have your own personal account. If you have one from a previous program you've been involved with, you simply let them know that you have that account, and then you go ahead and do it from there, okay? If there is some reason why you absolutely cannot use either of these, you need to contact support and get their help on that. They do not use PayPal, because PayPal freezes money and does not let you pay it out, and that is a problem. You need what's called a merchant account, and that's what these are. They are online merchant accounts, and we have to have one to do this legally, and so it's very important not to get in the way of yourself, in other words. So get your account set up properly so that you can get paid. The next tab down is the My Downline tab. And of course, again, this is a demo account, so you're not going to see anything in here. But just remember, outside left, outside right, or left, right, yes. And then just building your left, building your right. This first page will only show 4 levels, and then after that you have to click this here. And you do have to scroll down till you get to the bottom. If you're not at the actual bottom, you have to click someone that's in that side to get further down, and just keep remembering you're staying to either the outside left or the outside right. There will be open spaces on the insides, but that is for your team to build. So don't put other people Don't put people inside people's legs because you're not helping yourself and you're not helping them. They need to learn to build their own legs, and they will want to do that. So unless you're just giving them a bonus for one time or something, I've had people do that because I'm active. But let me tell you, don't do that for people that are not active. It will not make them be better at building their business, and it will probably harm them more than it will help them. And then this tab right here is where you're going to see in detail all of the things about that person that just became uh, one of your new direct affiliates. Now, they could be in the customer tab, they could be in the cart abandoned, or they could be in the free tab, meaning that um, they took a one of the tours and they're not quite yet at a paid level. Or you can just click the all. You can have a custom search, or you can base it on any of these tabs right here. So this is really handy when it comes to learning about where your person is and then finding out more about them. And guess what? It also gives you their email and their phone number so that you can contact them. And it's really important to do that. I always make it a point when somebody is even a pre-enrollee to let them know that I'm there for them and I would like to help them in any way I can. And sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't, but I always send them a personal email. And that is not through this system in this case. I send it through my Gmail. And you could absolutely do that. But for larger amounts of people, get in the habit of using our lead capture system. It's really valuable. Now we have the next tab is our live webinars. As you can see, I'm on the top there. That's because that's Monday. Then we have Wednesday. We used to have only Joel doing about everything. Now we have Jerry doing the marketing. He's doing the recruiting, and Mark just started a couple of weeks ago, and he's awesome. He's teaching all kinds of amazing stuff, and he also does a guest appearance from one of our top leaders that is doing really well and got backup. So if you haven't yet, make sure and watch those. They're really cool. And then, of course, webinar replays. I'm going to see if they got around to doing what I wanted them to do. Ah, they did it. Yay. Come look at this, guys. This has just been added because I told them they needed to do this. Here is our replay page for all of our YouTube videos. They're all here. That is really cool. I'm glad that's there. They just put that in. So there now is how you get immediately over to all of the replays. They're all right here because I'll tell you, we've got quite a bit when you start looking because we started this in April, I think even earlier. And now this is, what are we? We're in August. And so this is where we started out. And in fact, that's not the first one, I don't think. Oh, this is when he did the last Wednesday and he was introducing Jerry. And I think Mike was not available that day. And then, of course, you can see I'm in there pretty much every week. I think I had 1 week I wasn't there. And the reason why is because I showed somebody's emails and I didn't do it on purpose, but YouTube got really upset about it. And so one of my videos got taken down. And then, of course, we have the leaderboard. And this one is just the got backup, I think. No, this is the regular leaderboard showing everybody and what's going on. And if you just wondered, if you were just curious where I am presently, I am, I think, number 30. Yep, right here. I am an emerald. So you can, I started out just like everybody else, right down here, and now I'm up here. You can do the absolute same thing. It's just about being consistent. It's about building yourself. It's about showing it to as many people as you can. Please don't spam people, though. Please do not just throw your link all around. The more you have conversations, and Jerry talks about that, He explains it, and so does Mark. So we've got so much wonderful training in here. I'm not going to repeat what these guys are doing already. Even even Joel, a lot of the time, will do a little bit of that. But I'm going to tell you, Mark, he had a really good one a few days ago. So it's really worth it to watch that. So, and then of course we have things like the business cards. I just ordered a pack of cards. And this leaderboard is just the got back up. And it doesn't appear to be showing it for some reason. I wonder if they decided to take that out. Anyway, that is pretty much the entire thing. So now I'm going to close down that. All right. So anybody, if you've got questions, this is when you ask them. And I'm just going to scroll up to make sure there isn't some people that are asking something and I just haven't seen it yet. But a lot of you guys are just really cool and you answer their questions before I even get to it. And that's really awesome too. Okay, I don't see any yet. Yes, so Bruce was clarifying that the banners can be used as social posts, they can be used as advertisements via Google, or any of those, what they call safe lists. A lot of them have banner advertising. You can certainly use them in there. So there's all kinds of ways that you can use the banners. But like I said, I promise you, the more that you just talk about things that are important to you and how important it is to save your stuff and that you're saving money at it, but don't give away all the farm without them coming to you first and asking. Because the more you do that, the more people are going to say, "Ooh, I want to know about that." And then you have the opportunity to have some talking, some conversation. Okay? And let's see. And I made a promise to Kelly. Kelly, I did not go over the part about, let's see, I did not go over the part about, Kelly, I did not go over the documents yet. I can actually do that now. I wanted to make sure that I got done with the regular tour first. So I'm going to actually come back into my share. Let me get back into Got Backup. And I'm going to go, I need to come back here to the digital tools and use the tool. And remember I told you the other thing you can do here is you can auto login, and that actually takes you to your own tool. And I'm going to show you how cool it is. You can create something right here on this program, and it looks just like a Word or an Excel program or a PowerPoint, and you don't have to pay anything extra to have these. So that in order to have those, first thing you need to do is be in this part right here. You should, but you don't have to, create a special folder for it. I'm going to just create one called My Online Documents or Docs. Did you know, for instance, that you can actually download, if you have Google Docs you're using right now, you can download them out of Google Docs and you can bring them up in here. I can show you how to do that too. But let's just start from scratch, okay? I want to create a new document. It's going to look just like a Word document. So I'm going to call this test doc, just so you can see what it looks like. Come on. I must have not clicked it over. Test doc. Oh, there it is. I thought I'd done it. Okay, so now it opens up in this special program, and it's going to be empty because there's nothing on it, but it looks like a Word document. Look at all of the stuff up here. And look at this one tab right here. It says collaboration. That means you can share this with somebody and you can work together on something. Okay? So I'm going to just write some stuff in here. Okay. So now I have a document, and notice it gets saved right away down here. Now I'm going to actually collaborate. Okay? So what happens when you collaborate is you can actually go into co-editing mode. Fast meaning people can do it right by itself. And I'm going to actually share this link in our webinar, okay? And you guys can come over here to this document, and you can actually, I want you to actually go to the document, and I want you to write something. I don't care what it is. It's a silly document. It's not intended for you to be worried about it. But I want to look at that in about a minute or two, and I want to see that there's people that have collaborated with me. Okay? So go ahead, collaborate with me. Type something into that document, okay? And when we get back and look at it, it's going to be really, really fun. Okay, I will get into syncing in a minute, but let me see. First off, I made a promise I was going to work on that. So let me go ahead and check and see. I'm going to hit my revamp. Okay, nobody wrote in here. Come on. Come on. I did that on purpose to give you a fun thing that you guys can do. Come on in to my document with me, all right? Anybody needs to collaborate. Yes, Kelly, we have notes, we have Excel, like documents, and you can do some pretty amazing stuff actually with that, and it's really fun. Oh, it's not letting you? I wonder if I have to have their email to do it. I don't know. But anyway, I want you to see that you can do that with people. Okay? All right. I don't know what that is, but let me find out. I will find out. Okay, so I made a promise I was going to go back and show you about how how to change your folders. First off, if I come in here to my setup right here and I do my settings, okay, it's not liking this, but that just means there's something in there it doesn't like, not syncing. But what if I wanted, this one is actually one I don't want anymore because I removed it. So I want to remove this folder. All I have to do is remove it like this, okay? So now it's not going to sync my music anymore. And I did that on purpose because I want to do it a different way. So if I wanted to put my pictures in there a different way without actually syncing, I'd go into my auto login. And if I wanted a folder in there that was just things that I want to put in there manually, which you can do, and then it's just there and it doesn't sync, that means you have to decide whether you're going to add to it or not. You simply add a folder. And I'm going to add a folder in here. And remember, I got rid of the music folder. So I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to add a few things to it. So you would have to actually come and upload just like you would if you were on a computer. Okay, this is like going to your computer and working inside of your music. Okay, so you can see I actually have a pretty large music folder. So let's just say I wanted to add my ABBA folder. I'm just going to put a couple of things in there because it takes a while if you load a lot of stuff. But if you actually wanted to put your stuff in here by itself and not have it even on your computer, you have the option of doing that, which is very powerful. As a matter of fact, you can play your music right here inside of your folders on this Got Backup, right like this. So it has actually uploaded a few of the files, and as you can see, it even has the icons on them because most of these are from an actual album that ABBA had. And I can't actually play it, but I want to show you that you can. So how cool is that? No, you didn't miss anything. I'm just busy sharing how to do things. Okay, so I explained to Bedroom Bully how to create your own manual. That is not a sync, what I just did. I hope you understand that. That was actually, I found out you can't literally play movies because we do not have streaming attached to our GOT backup. But there is in the works a possibility of adding that in the future. So stay tuned, it's going to be available, okay? Yes. Can you please elaborate a little bit more on including the marketing system versus the done for you upgrade? I'm not sure what your question is, Doug. I went through that in pretty good detail. I believe that third page down, the one that has a woman's face on it, is actually the done for you system. I believe that's what that is. And you can find out to be sure. I don't know exactly which one is because I usually don't share that one. The other, I don't know what you're talking about. You got to get, if you're asking a question, don't assume I read the other part of your question because most of the time I'm not going to see the whole thing. So make sure I see your whole question because if you're not giving me the whole thing, then I'm not going to be able to answer it. All right? Can you please elaborate a little bit more on the included market system versus the done for you? The major thing that happens with the done for you system is that they put your emails in for you. That really does not keep you from doing your own marketing as well, though. I really recommend that you get acquainted with the lead capture system and actually use it. Even if you're only using it 3 times a week, that's better than not doing it at all. So here's what I did. You might have noticed that I didn't actually use that whole email. What I did is I put my own information in there. I made sure they had my phone number and I made sure they had my face. Very, very important. You need to actually do whatever you can to get them to warm up to you because the company by themselves is not going to get them to turn over and become paid members if you're not doing your part to warm them up. Okay, that's really important. Okay, so that's why I went over in a little bit more detail today on the lead capture system. I also did emails about that, which are going to be installed in our back office pretty quickly. I don't have Telegram, Mapool, so I can't tell you about Telegram. Telegram is simply another, um, basically, it's a lot like Facebook Messenger. It's another way that you can communicate with people. It's like Skype, and I use Facebook Messenger a lot. Okay. Okay, this is a good question. The document needs to be downloaded and edited and then shared back again. Oh, okay, I get it. Thank you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to add the stream again. I'm going to come back in there. So if nobody wants to do that, that's fine. We don't really need it to be that, but I just wanted you to see what you can do because it's really important. Now, if I come back here into my all files, you'll see now I've got quite a few things in here. Now, these are just pieces that I've put in here just so you can see how it works. But I'll tell you something. I'm going to hop over to mine again real quick. And I want you to notice something that you probably didn't notice. But I have a lot of stuff. And the reason why is because the majority of it is not in sync. The majority of it is just in my cloud and not on my hard drive. I've had 3 hard drives die. So I'm not interested in actually having it on the hard drive. Most of the stuff is just here on my up here on my cloud. Now I can download parts whenever I want. Like for instance, I have a laptop that I use just on Sundays for my primary lessons. And so when I want to give them, when I want to put a video on there, for instance, first I download them out of YouTube, and I do that just because I don't have internet access on that computer at all. I don't have internet access at all. So I download them and put them back up here just so that I have access to that same video, and then I delete it. But the cool thing is that I can put it on that laptop. I can use this just like Dropbox. I put it in here first, and then I download it into that laptop, which doesn't have a lot of memory, so it's not fast, but it can do a decent job of playing a video if I put it on the video on the hard drive itself. But it doesn't have a lot of hard drive space either. So I'm not going to fill it up with videos. I'm going to delete them and put them through the recycle after I've used them. And that's how I actually use this, just like a Dropbox. And this is not on my hard drive. This is only up here in the cloud. So there are so many different ways that you can actually use this besides just syncing your files. That's kind of like number one. You need to do that. Now, one of the things I sync all the time because I forget to do something with my stuff is my download folder, for instance. So I have that in here. This is my everyday stuff that I do all day long. And guess what I have in here? I have my Downline folder. You know why? Because I download all the time. And so to keep from losing anything of value, I put it in here, okay? But there's times when I don't want to keep it in here. So what I would do if I want to avoid having this stuff go away is you can actually have another folder. Say I come back here and say, oh, you do it this way, of course. If I had a new folder that's just cloud downloads, in other words, it's not stuff that's staying on my hard drive, I could move anything that's in here into the cloud download folder, and I would do that for the purpose of making sure that it doesn't get lost or deleted, because if you have things that are synced in your computer and you delete them off the computer without turning off your sync on that, you can actually lose it, and it didn't do it. So this would be just where I'm going to put all of the old downloads that I want to keep, but I don't want to leave them in the download folder. So that is just a suggestion that you can do if you want to. You don't have to do that, but that's just what I've found really helps me. I keep track of where I'm at and what's going on with that. Awesome, iCache. Yes, it is just really important to be able to help your kids. And let's face it, kids are very visual, especially now. And the class I teach are 7 to 8 year olds. They're young. And so they're very interested in video and stuff like that. And that's a very good way to teach if it's a good program. Keeps failing. Okay. You might be trying to put too much in there at once, and it also depends on the speed of your internet. Especially when it comes to videos and music, you may have to do it in really small amounts because those are large files. And might be that you even have to do it one at a time. Okay? That's what I've found. If you've got a failure, it's generally because you're trying to put too many things in at once. Okay? So you can't upload an entire folder. You can't upload an entire pack of videos because it probably will not do it. Oh, this is a good question. Is there a way to access a copy of sent broadcasts? I do that all the time. I'm going to share you a secret. Let me go ahead and share my screen again, and I'm going to go over to mine. This is a secret. Don't tell anybody. But I'm actually going to go over to my emails. Now I need to come in here. Here's my lead capture system. And guess what I always do? I have sent broadcasts, and I have one already set up exactly the way I want it to go. So I'm going to go to broadcasts, not to send, but to broadcasts, okay? And you're going to see that all of the ones I've done today are down here because I sent mine out real early and they have already done it. And this is today's. So let me show you something that you can do that's really cool. And I'm going to be able to actually set this up for tomorrow because you can do this. Now, when you hit the add, let me go backwards so you get what I just did. I'm in here, right? If I click this little radio button, it lets me notice that it says resend. So I'm going to click that and it's going to open that up as an editable file. But it's going to have all the stuff in there I already had before. Whatever links, whatever lists you have, make sure they're all over on the right-hand side. I have a lot of lists because I've been involved for 3.5 years. Okay, so this is what I sent today because I was going to do this webinar, right? But if I send this tomorrow, it wouldn't make sense for me to say, yes, I'm live today, would it? Because tomorrow is the replay. So now I just have to come in here. I don't have to do a whole lot, but I just have to do a little bit of editing. So for instance, instead of saying, yes, I'm live, did you miss it? Don't want caps. And then I've got this part right here. Okay, and you don't want this part. It's the same link because this link is going to be good until Wednesday. Now you got to change this part too. You got to make sure and change this because it's not going to be about today. It's going to be about tomorrow. Your replay inside. And I encourage you to do a lot of this because people really love it when you share training. Now, this is not going to be today, is it? I'm already done with today. It's just going to be tomorrow. But it's not going to be as late as right now because I usually send it about here, which is about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, somewhere in there. So I'm going to set this up to actually send it tomorrow. So here we go. And guess what happens? It comes back in. Takes a minute for it to come, but it's going to show up as something that we can click to set up for tomorrow. And I'm already ready to send an email for tomorrow. I don't have to do anything tomorrow because it's already there. You can do the same thing. It's really cool. Does that make sense? And I have done that actually for a really, really long time. I don't make brand new emails every time I do an email. Yes, Rita, I'm saying that your system probably is not going to be able to do a great big group of videos. If you've got videos that you want to upload, yes, you can put them in there, but do it one at a time because it's really, really important not to do it in large chunks because you're taxing the system and it's going to fail if you do that. You can actually make them go one at a time into your backup account. I actually recommend that you do it as a manual upload instead of doing a sync on that particular item, okay? Well, I don't know how many people are actually in my Australia, but I actually know the company themselves actually send out, I don't need to have this up. The company itself actually sends out emails through the day for the fact that we have an international company now. They're pretty much everywhere. So they're going to send out probably 4 to 6 a day. So if you haven't gotten one, then you need to ask because most of the time they come out all sorts of times. And you're actually in tomorrow right now, I think, or at least really late at night. So I understand that it's a different time where you are. Laura, I am going to do some very detailed videos about that product, about the whole online part, and make sure that they get put up for you there in the back office. So be patient, please. I'm working on them. I'm trying to make them the best possible product I can give you, and I believe that you're going to be really happy. Okay? So hang in there. I'm going to be doing a lot more. I have just the basics done right now. I'm going to do more. Okay, great. So you're in Tuesday morning. That's cool. I understand that you're in a different time zone, of course. Okay, cool. Okay, Bob has the answer for you on your YouTube. I don't know what that is about because that wasn't a YouTube video, but if that helps you, then that works because I love these questions though because it gives me an idea of where you're still needing help and what things I can make sure and do videos about to help you out. And so I will absolutely be doing a lot more stuff that's in the back, in the actual system in the back and how to use that because it's really valuable and very, very important to understand how to use it. So it's really cool. Okay. And I will ask to make sure I understand how the collaboration works because I thought it worked just by adding the link, but maybe it doesn't. Okay, if you can't send your link spam, what are we sending? What I was suggesting, Peter, is that email that I had when I first copied it over. It had like 5 links in it. And I have found that generally speaking, it doesn't go to spam unless you have quite a few links in it. But the more links you have, the better chance that it's going to end up in spam. So it's really a good idea. And generally speaking, my emails only have one link. And it's actually a good thing because you got to think about it. How do you want those people to pay attention to what you're sharing? If you have 5 links, you're just going to confuse them because they don't know that it's the same thing. Sorry, I'm getting all congested. But anyway, it's really, really important to actually reduce the amount of links. And then also remember your goal with our lead capture system is not to advertise as much as it is to warm people up and make them want to be involved with you because it's really important for them to see that you're a real person, that you care, that you want them to know that you actually have them in mind and it's not just about you selling to them, but you want them to actually lemon juice is good. Okay. What lemon juice for what? Oh, for my throat. Yeah. It I have a little bit of congestion because of allergies and sometimes it starts to get kind of running as I'm talking and that's what's going on with that. Yes, absolutely. Michael, are you new? It looks like you're having a good time anyway. That's really good. But I have just about every kind of product or file inside of my personal stuff. In fact, I have converted all of my Google Docs over, which is really cool. You can actually have them all up in the cloud. And what's really cool is yes, you have them in the Google, but then you also have them totally backed up at the same time. And that's really cool. Okay. One of the hardest things to do is develop apps for PCs. The hardest thing to do is troubleshooting because of the countless hard. Okay. Yeah, Apple's never used to even allow people to have very much of anything in them. They've gotten better about that than they used to be. I like the PC because I just find it a little more comfortable. It's what I was always used to using. Yes, absolutely, Kelly. There's a really good application to keep track of all your homeschooling stuff in there. Yes, absolutely. So are you a homeschool teacher? That's really cool if that's what you do. That's really neat. All of our tutorials that are presently there are always available by those orange buttons that you see, but we are also working on more training, which I'm working on now. And when I get done, they're all going to be in there. I'm not sure whether he's going to put them on a page so that everything's all in one place or whether he's going to attach them with the orange button. But let me show you what I mean by that. So if I go back to our backup, there's no orange button here. There needs to be, but and there is right here. Do you see this right here? That means somebody has actually put a training in here. In fact, it might even be me because I already put some stuff in here. But anyway, if you click this, you'll notice that there is a training button. This is an actual video that has been put up for that version for that page. And if you click this, guess what? There's another orange button. That means that there is new stuff in here. Okay. So every one of these links here, if you click the orange button, it opens up a video. And I actually learned everything in the past program I was involved with through these videos. They are excellent, and you have all that you need there. And then again, remember, if we go back to the use this tool, remember the videos are actually down here. Here again, if you click this, you are going to get to the Macintosh plus iPhone videos. They're all right here right now, and they're really good. Okay, so there is a lot of training already in place, and we're just working to make it even better. Okay, so there you go. There's where everything is, and that's really exciting, Kelly, to see that you are a home teacher, a homeschooler, and that means you could have a lot of stuff in there. You could have a special folder that is just for the purpose of your class, and you can make a folder and keep it all in one place so it's really easy to find. You can even put subfolders inside of subfolders. The only thing you have to do is just add a folder inside a folder, however many you need, until you get to where you want to get. You don't go crazy with that, but you can organize it just like you do on your hard drive. And that's what makes this really, really awesome. So Kelly says, I saved the textbooks in the Got Backup. And now they're backed up and they're not going to be gone, which is really amazing. And I'll tell you, I've lost three, not just one, not just two, but three external drives. And if it wasn't for the fact that they were already in Got Backup, all of my music collection, I have thousands of music files, and I bought those or I transferred them from old analog to digital, and I spent a lot of time on those. I mean, it is my music, but I didn't want to lose it, and it's all in my Got Backup. That's part of why I've got 8 instead of 6, because I've got a lot of stuff. And I've got my old, I used to be in Sweet Adelines, and I've got our old videos and all of our music. Yes, I love ABBA. I love all the older music. I have a huge Elvis and Beatles collection. And of course, I don't want to throw that away. I don't want it to disappear. And you can't count on the hard drives. They don't live very long, it seems like. So our God Backup is a godsend. And I have pictures. Yes, of course they're named, Sandy. They definitely are named. I have pictures that go back to my mother's birth in 1932. I spent the time scanning all of that. So you don't want to lose that kind of stuff, do you? So it needs to be backed up. It's not actually just on my hard drive. It's all in my cloud. And if you just keep that in mind how important it is. Yeah, Joel and his 60,000. Yes, absolutely. But may the fork be with you, friends. I think we're done with our evening. We're a little bit past even an hour. Unless there's any further questions, please let me know real quick. Otherwise, I think we're kind of done. Yeah, Michael, it's really awful when you lose a hard drive. And everything was on it and you can't get them back. So, it's really a good thing. Do a manual upload if you're in a hurry. It's easy to do, and I'm going to do more training on that too. I gave you a little idea how to do that. Yeah, external drives can overheat, they can die, and it doesn't matter how old they are even. Most of mine were not old. You can sync, yes, or you can manual. Now, if you're just an ordinary person that doesn't have a lot of stuff, sync is great. If you're like me and you have a lot of stuff, manual upload is a better choice for me. And you just have to choose. I hope you guys are have a great rest of your Labor Day. If you're in other countries, of course, you're not doing that, but that's fine. And I really love coming and spending the time with you and helping you out. So You guys have an awesome, awesome night. Okay, here's a question on the email I assume you're asking. It should go after your signature, whatever it is. If you have regards as your signature, then put your picture in after that, and then put your name under that, okay? And then you have a nice little signature thing. And then whatever you do, go ahead and save it, and then you get to use it again exactly the way you put it together. Yeah, I have a weird thing. I'm not sick, honest to God, I'm not sick. It's just I get dry throat and it just causes me to cough once in a while. I even have gum in my mouth thinking that's going to work, and sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. So thanks, guys. I appreciate you coming. I really enjoy visiting with you, and I hope you guys have an awesome night. And I'm going to go and finish my dinner. May the fork be with you. Good night.